All right, hello again. Thank you guys for being here. And being a small channel and just getting started, every comment, every like, every share, every subscriber is so important. And I want to thank you guys because every night I go to sleep, I lay down, I get up, there are more people being added to the channel. And I want to sincerely thank you. I want to talk to you this morning about being plant-based and living that life when most of the people around you are not. And when you're plant-based and you're trying to create a homestead and you're a prepper, it's I think it's 2 to 3 times harder than before when I was just a homestead prepper. So I'm gonna tell you guys what my normal day looks like, and then you guys can help me in the comments. How about that? So normally I am up anywhere between 5 and 6 a.m. Now, give you guys some backstory. I still live in the city, in the urban area. My population in my city is about 100, maybe 120,000. But in the surrounding cities, there are over 1 million people. So I literally live around 1 million people. And I've been wanting to move up out of here and move to the more rural sector. And we have of course, anywhere there's a metropolis, there's always, within an hour and a half drive, there's always going to be rural areas around it. So here in Virginia, there's an area called Suffolk, which is a huge country area. That's what I call it, country area. And being from Texas, I can say that kind of stuff. I apologize about the sun, y'all. Can y'all see me? I just deal with it. So my wife and I, we've been talking about moving out that way. However, my job, unfortunately, even though I love it, I love what I do, I don't have any kind of retirement. And where my wife works, she has to commute an hour every day through probably like 3-4 cities to get to her job. I mean, that's just city life. That's just, that's the nature of the beast. For those that don't live in the city. So I'm just trying to give you guys a little backstory on where we are. So we've been, and prepping has such a negative connotation, but in my opinion, it's so necessary. So I've been prepping now, going on probably about 5 to 6 years, seriously. I have solar panels, I have backup battery, I have a generator, I got the main items out the way. So that power goes down, boom, we have backup. Water goes down, we have water collection systems, things of that sort, so we can survive. But my average day, like I said, I get up, between 5 and 6:30. Usually I get up and we do a juice morning, every morning. Instead of us getting up cooking eggs, bacon, grits, sausage, things like that, we get up and we either break our fast in the morning with a juice that I make. Okay, that's normal. That's normal for us. So that's the first thing that we technically eat is a juice, and we usually do about 1 liter of juice each. From that depends on what we're doing that week. If we're fasting that week, then we do water for the rest of the day. If we're doing fruits that week, I may cut up a watermelon and we eat watermelon, for the rest of the day. Or we may do apples or whatever, or we may do a fruit salad. Or sometimes I love going to Whole Foods because they have an amazing bar where you can get practically anything you want. So that's my, and then of course I go about my day. I work all day. And then I have a few other things that I do in the evening sometimes. And like I said in one of my earlier videos, when you're living this urban city life and you're trying to prep for your future, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion from my perspective, it's much harder to get to the rural areas because, for one, you don't know what you don't know. And it's so important to find people that, one, live in the area that you're trying to get to, and see, create friendships. I call them mentorships. It's so important that when you find people on YouTube that you reach out, especially if you're in the same community, so you can create friendships and mentorships, because we all learn from each other. No one person knows it all. I have learned that I'm 45 now, and I used to be a know-it-all. I have learned and figured out that the more I learn, the more I don't know. There's so much. This is the information that you know. Outside of this circle is everything that you don't know. I learned that from Dr. Ray Hagins. And that is so true. This little circle right here is your consciousness. Everything outside of that circle is everything that you have no clue about. And it's so true. And that's another thing why I tell the group of people that I lead, I'm like, hey, always be learning. Always be learning. Never get to the point when you think you know everything about whatever subject, and you can have a doctorate in a particular subject, and you still need to be learning. Look at surgeons. Look at physicians. They have to go through continued education all the time. Look at insurance agents. Look at real estate agents. They have to go through continued education all the time. And I commend you guys that have joined my channel and have started commenting and sharing and putting out different information. I appreciate that, because we all learn that way. We all learn that way. So being a plant-based homesteader in an urban environment, it's rather unique. And I am looking forward to the day where we close on a piece of property that is in a rural area, and it's going to take a while. I mean, I've come to the realization that I'm probably not, well, I don't like to speak negative, but unless I hit the lottery, I have to do it in a way where it makes sense for us. And we're on a 20-year plan now for retirement, and between year 7 and year 10, we should be in a situation where we can purchase the property. However, I look at it this way: at least I have a plan. Whereas before, I didn't. I was just like, okay, well, we're gonna do the best we can with the property that we have right now, and we'll just hope for the best. Nah, things are not built that way. Things are built three ways, and you have to, in my opinion and from my experience, you have to build them exactly this way. Number one, you got to build it in your head first. If you can't see it, it won't happen. You have to visualize, you have to mentally concentrate on that thing, and you have to put that thing in the forefront of your vision, of your mind, your third eye, if I can use that term. Your third eye has got to start waking up and seeing it. How do you wake it up? Well, become more plant-based, go on an extended fast. You'll start waking up your consciousness. As long as you're eating meat and you're eating a lot and putting a lot of chemicals in your body, you're golly, I didn't mean to get on this topic, on this subject. Your third eye, your pineal gland, it's not going to ever wake up or open. So start going more plant-based. You'll thank me later, trust me. And trust, I used to be the biggest meat eater ever of all times. I was way overweight. I was about 80, 90 pounds overweight. And I'm not talking about a long time ago. We're talking, 6, 7 months ago. We're not talking about 6 years ago. We're talking about 6, 7 months ago. I was so fat. So, I got way off topic. Big things are built 3 ways. Number 1, in your mind. You have to see it first. Number 2, write it down. Write down your goals. This is so important. In the weight loss group I lead, that's the first thing I tell people in their weight loss journey. I'm like, right now where you would like to be. I don't care where that is. You can be, I have one young lady who's almost 400 pounds. I was like, where would you like to be? She gave me a number. I was like, no, you cannot tell me that is the number that you would like to be. She's like, well, I didn't want to really put it, I didn't want to tell you because I don't think it's ever possible. I'm like, the man or the woman who thinks he or she can, and a man or the woman who thinks he or she can't, they're both right. Put the number down and let's start working toward it. So she put it down and I was like, now we're talking. That's a goal. That's something we can shoot for. Is it going to happen overnight? No. Are you going to build a homestead overnight? No. Even if you have the land in a rural area, it's going to take years for you to get that thing to the point where it's sustainable. You're able to live off of it and thrive. It takes people years. I'm talking about years of constant work to get their homestead, the way they want it to be, and then to get their homestead where, because ultimately, this is my opinion. Y'all tell me if I'm wrong or not. I would really like to have a place, and this is my goal. I would like to have a safe haven where people can come on my homestead, on our homestead. They can learn the plant-based lifestyle. We're growing food year-round. You want to make I'm going to throw this term out there. You guys don't know what this is. You want to make a mucus buster? Then you go out there and you go pull your fresh pineapple. Go to the tree, pick your oranges. Go to the grapefruit tree, pick your grapefruits. Go out there to the grapevines, grab you some grapes, bring it in, wash everything, cut everything up, prepare it, and drink your juice. That is ultimately what I'm looking for. And what I've noticed being more plant-based, it's so much easier to shop now. Because I don't grow enough food. I mean, I'm growing food, but I don't grow enough to sustain us. Which I'm very proud this year, because this is the first year it took us 3 years. This is the first year that we had an overabundance of grapes. And one of my grapevines actually died, before it started producing this year. So on 2 grapevines, we juice. Now we're growing the Concord grapes, which are the juicing grapes. I didn't know that at the time when I planted them, but I'm thankful because, this is 3 years ago before I was plant-based. I'm so thankful that it worked out that way because it makes delicious juice. Or organic, just the taste is amazing. So let me get back on topic. The 3 ways to build your homestead or to build the life that you're looking for. Number 1, put it in your mind. Number 2, put it on paper. You got to have a blueprint. And just putting it on paper is not good enough. You got to put it on paper, and you got to set a date that you're going to achieve certain things by. We all know that you're not going to one day wake up and bam, go purchase 20 acres and bam, build a house on it. It's not going to happen that way. But we do know that if we take the right steps. For example, like my wife and I, we have set up every month. Okay, month August, we're paying this. September, bam, this is going to be totally paid off. We're going to be completely out of credit card debt. Amazing. Okay, now we're working on her car. All right, bam, bam, bam. September, October, November, December. We're paying this month. We're cutting. We're making sacrifices, and we're like, okay, January 1st, 2020, the car is paid. Guess what? All our debts are done. Come January 2020, all of our debts are going to be paid, and then we're going to start tackling our home and everything that we were doing. Because see, we the best thing that happened to us about 3 months ago, I had a garnishment to hit my check. And when you get a garnishment, you're like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? Such. It was the best thing that ever happened to us. And I went and talked to my job. I didn't know you can get 100% garnishment. I didn't get a check for like 3 pay cycles. And I went and talked to human resources. They were like, yeah, you're gonna lose 100% unless you do this, this, and this. And I was like, you know what? Just let it roll through. Because I looked at it as an opportunity. I said, let's see if this is actually a way that we can live and thrive without this income. Lo and behold, next thing I know, check didn't come through. Things got tight. I had to stop doing certain things that I was doing and had to do other things. And I was like, wow. After the second check, I was like, okay, we can do this. The third check came out, and I was like, oh yeah, this is the best thing ever happened to us, because it woke me up and it showed us then that a lot of the things that we were doing with our money, we didn't need to be doing. So we we sat down, and I was like, baby, let's do this. Let's take half our savings. Let's pay it toward this, and then every month, let's take the paycheck that I wasn't getting and let's apply it here. Because we've proven that we can still make it, we can still live without this check. So fortunately, she was like, okay, let's do it. So bam, within a week, we had paid half our debts. Here it is, almost a month and a half, 2 months into it. We are 85% done with all of our credit card debt. And we had a substantial amount. So then I was like, okay, well, let's keep applying the money that I'm making, and then let's take the money that we were paying toward the credit cards and let's triple up on the car payment. If we did that, we did the math, boom, 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 because fortunately my wife is that's what she does for a living. She pays bills for a living for a huge multi-billion-dollar company. And I was like, crunch the numbers and let's see if we can do it. So she did that. She did it, and she was like, oh yeah, we'll be completely out of that December 2019, January 2020. I'm like, cool, let's do it. Let's roll. So that's the power of putting things on paper and putting dates next to them. That's the power of it. And then number 3, the third way that you're going to build your homestead, build a plant-based life, build your community, whatever you're trying to build, is to actually do it. Nike said it best, just do it. So once you've thought about it, once you've made plans, once you've written out and drawn up a blueprint, now implement those strategies and let nothing and let no one get in your way of hitting your goal. And set small, minute goals on the way to your main goal so you can stop and celebrate the small things. You know, it was a celebration for us to pay off our 3 little small cars. And I'm talking about, when I say small, they were all under $1,000. But for some people, you know, $3,000 worth of debt is nothing. For others, it may take years for that to happen. When we paid those debts off, we did that earlier. We did that later last month. We were like celebrating. I was like, oh my God, thank you. And we rolled some things onto another card just to keep it all in one place, so we can see that amount drop drastically. And my goal, and she doesn't think we're gonna be able to do it, but my goal is before the end of this month to go ahead and pay. I want to get early on things. You know, we have a certain goal, but I want everything to be done by December. That is, I really don't want to take any debt into January, into 2020, because simply we need to replenish our savings. That's number 1, and then we need to start dumping huge amounts of money on the house that we currently live in. And according to my numbers that I've crunched, believe this or not, if we do the same strategy that we're doing right now, right this minute, and we apply everything that we were applying to credit cards, to her car payment, if we do that to our house, we will be mortgage free. Listen to me, mortgage free in less than 4 years. Like 3 years, 9-10 months, something like that. That's just if we just keep doing what we're doing. So you can do it. You can do it. Whatever you're trying to build, whatever you're trying to do, if you take those 3 strategies right there, you know, think about it, really concentrate on it. And if you have a spouse, you know, things work so much better when you and your spouse are on the same sheet of music, on one accord. And that's all biblically based too. A house divided against itself cannot stand. But where there's unity, there is strength. And the one thing I've noticed about myself and my wife, we are so unified. And it's like nothing can separate us. We are so motivated about what we're doing. So hopefully that helps you guys. I appreciate you. I cannot thank you enough for being here. I cannot thank you enough for, oh my gosh. Yeah, I can't thank you enough for being here. And I cannot thank you enough for you guys' support. I appreciate you. I love you. I love what you're doing for not only my channel, but for what you're doing for your community, your household, your family, and ultimately our planet. Because it's going to take people like us to help other folks change their minds, change their attitudes, and change their lives. So as always, I love you enough to tell you the truth. Y'all be blessed. Take care.